reputation of starting things on time. Welcome to the 8th edition of the Bangalore Literature Festival. 8 years and still the largest community-funded festival. It is a plastic-free festival. As you notice around you, you won't find a single sponsor board, not a single rupee comes in from any of the corporates. Kapoor for a dramatized reading of his book, The Fairy, followed by a Q&A round.
अपनी तरह से जीने की आज़ादी होनी चाहिए। हुक्मरानों के नाम एक छोटा सा मगर अहम संदेश, या यूँ कहें कि ना मांगा हुआ मशवरा। सोसाइटी या समाज का कोई भी शख्स या समुदाय अगर आपके राज्य में इनसिक्योर महसूस करता है तो उसे डराने, गलत साबित करने, धमकाने की बजाय पास बैठाएं, उसकी बात समझें और अपनी समझाएं। ऐसा जताएं कि उसके और आपके रगों में दौड़ते हुए खून का रंग सुर्ख है और एक ही है। बदले कुछ सैलाब आए, चिमनी से धुएं की आंधियां निकली, मकानों इंसानों के चेहरे पे मैल के गिलाफ चढ़ाए। फिर कुछ बम फूटे, कुछ गोलियां चली, कई बेवक्त मौत के घाट उतरे, घूरता रहा चांद, घूमती जमीन की तकदीर। कुछ जानवर कुर्सियों पर बैठ गए, कुछ इंसान पिंजरों में बंद। फिर आसमान it starts from her loneliness to her self-realization. That's what the story is all about. अम्मा भी ने बड़े से पलंग पर करवट ली और आंखें बड़े घड़ियाल पर जमा दी। 1 मिनट था 3 बजने में। रोजाना की तरह आज भी उनका वक्त का अंदाजा सही था और देखती रही जब तक कि घड़ियाल ने 3 का ऐलान नहीं कर दिया। दीवारों पर से फिसलती बिना चश्मे की 65 साल बहुत बड़ा था। मैं बेगम हूँ और ये मेरी जागीर। कदमों की रफ्तार तेज हो गई और इधर से उधर दौड़ते हुए पूरे घर पर हुक्म चला रही हैं। बड़े आईने के सामने जा खड़ी हुई, इस उम्र में लाल जोड़ा और वो भी एक बेवा औरत पर चीखी और आंखें नम हुई और अपनी तन्हाई के बोझ को उसी पलंग पर लाद दिया जो कई दिनों से इसका आदी हो चुका। दूर से अजान की आवाज सुनाई दी और रात ढले बड़े दरवाजे ने देखा कि भी धम्म से अपने बिस्तर पर जा पड़ी, जैसे इस पुरानी बूढ़ी तन्हा हवेली।
Excellent. So, on behalf of everybody here, I just want to let you know we would love to see a lot more of you on theatre as well as the screen. Why are you so selective and choosy about the work you do?
Well, I must confess that I do choose my work, but rest the answer lies with the producers and the directors. When a good script comes to me, I always say yes to it.
The tradition of writing by Muslim writers who write in Hindi, like Badi Uzma or Manzoor Ehtesham or others. Who were the writers whom you read, whom you kind of took inspiration from?
Shall I be honest? I do not wish myself to be compared to all these greats. I am just a first timer. But yes, having said that, all these years that I've spent, I'm 65. I started my career as an actor at the age of 19, starting from.
Was to donate all the proceeds of the book to a charity which works with immigrants across the world. So it's for a good cause. And my first real acquaintance with skin color. And it started to play up in different ways at different points of time. There's a whole Barbie debate.
I'm really bad at maths and I can never spell S-P-I-L. I can never spell. I do spill, but I don't spell. So shall we do a story instead? Yay! Now, I don't know. How do I do this? Maybe I'll show you the pictures later. What we can do right.
So, we think that these are the worlds with 2 dots. That's very advanced. Yeah.
That's what I see a lot in my corporate or my friends around. So I'd like to convey that as well, along with single-use plastic.
We have grown up, stop, do not use too much plastic and plant more trees everywhere, use more public transport and start carpooling and use more cloth products.
Almost finished smoking his second joint when he did. I'm sorry guys, the lady and I have to go. To the window, hoping I could control the inexplicable cheers that threatened. He took the car off the main road into the side of a deserted arterial road and stopped. Both of them are married, and yes, I have been
ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವರ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಅವರ ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅದು ನಾವು ನೀವು ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಬಹಳ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದದ್ದು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಂತರಂಗ ಬಹಿರಂಗ ಅಂತ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿ ಟಾಕ್ ನೋ ಇನ್ನರ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಔಟರ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಕ್ಲೀಶೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸೀಮ್ ಮಚ್ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಟು ಮಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ದಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಮೀರಿದ ಗಾಂಭೀರ್ಯ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಮಾಕರಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಐ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಕಪ್ಪಣ್ಣ, ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. So Karnad said, see Kappada, if I don't talk, I might be considered as a fool. But if I talk, I'll be proving it. So Itara, he had his own sense of humor.
ಇನ್ನು ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋದು? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಅವನದು ಬೇರೆ ಕಥೆ. ನೀವು ಇದು ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ರಾಣಿ ಕಥೆ, ಕುರುಡವನ ಕಥೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬೇರೆನೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಕಾರ್ನಾಡ್ರಿಗೂ ಕಾಡಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಕುರುಡವ.
Get into the skin of my country and get back into the rereading of my culture with the contemporary lens, with the theoretical underpinnings of Western writers, whether it was Lacan, whether it was Baudrillard, but let me look back into my culture. And
in my view, what that means is, so long as you put in factors of production and you're not very smart about it even, it grows. And that's why we're growing at 5%, 5.5%, 6%. We're still in that phase. It doesn't mean that for the future, maybe we'll have to shout like that tiger next door. But for right now, at least, there's enough sort of momentum, still a little gas left in the tank, to use a different metaphor, that will take us forward. However, it is dramatically short of our potential and of our ability to deliver on much higher growth. And for that,
these problems, including failure to enforce contracts, are legacy issues. They've been with us for a long time, and I think this government tends to be a little defensive when there are criticisms of any kind, and the first corrective that we need is for the government not to be defensive, to say these are legacy issues we've had from the past governments have failed to deal with them, we're trying to deal with them. That would already make for a huge improvement in sentiment all round. Secondly, I do agree that something as inchoate as contract enforcement is not something that can be kick-started immediately.
Hammering a chisel, it will come up. And her names. Long, dirty, and of course, very scary. So Lola was very afraid of the forest. She was like, no, I'm not going into the forest, yeah? Then, when she was 6 years old, on her birthday,
maybe they can't sleep. And according to your book, it says that the lack of sleep can be life-threatening. It also says that only 60% of Indians get adequate sleep. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more about the importance of sleep, and then what are the tools?
Sure.
To get that sleep?
Sure. Yeah, I think our culture sort of thinks that sleep isn't something that we can compromise on.
When someone rings on the bell at 10 in the night and says, there has been a case filed against Vijay Tendulkar for this play that he's written on obscenity, the judge who is sitting on the case cannot read Marathi. Will you please translate it and give it to us by tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning. Remember, this is the time before computers, which means that Shanta has to roll a piece of paper manually into the typewriter.
I'm flat the next 2 days.
No, but I'm saying, okay, so here's another story. In some ways, Bombay has this reputation of being the city of no culture. Right? It's supposed to be like only about mammon, and it's supposed to be about greed, and it's supposed to be about getting ahead, etc., etc. This is like all stories that you are told about any city.
This is camouflage. This is a manufactured reality. So Shanta is sitting in the middle of a city that is throwing up a huge range of
bad memory can't write something called a memoir. But one morning I got up and I had a distinct feeling in my throat. It was a body recall of my tonsil being taken out.
There is another process, and this process in which very carefully and very meticulously of time, we talk about how to use